How's it going, everyone? This is Justin. It is Friday, July 10th, and the White House just released the fourth tranche of UFO files. So we're going to dive into it. I'm going to give you kind of my first impressions, and let's see what there is. I have already gone through the videos. I scrubbed through them. There's a couple interesting things in there. There's one really fascinating video. There's a couple interesting images of a triangle-shaped craft from astronauts out in space. That was pretty interesting. There's this shape-shifting morphing kind of one that was kind of interesting. So we'll dive into it. Nothing too crazy. I don't think anything paradigm-shifting was released in these videos. And I had my AI run through the files. I don't think there was anything too earth-shattering in that besides just them talking about these technologies that the Germans had in this Cold War era technology, and just really the secrecy and trying to keep these things hidden. But there may have been these different types of craft that they were trying to develop back then that who knows if they just went secret and were kept off the books. And that could be some of the things that we have seen throughout history. Let's get into these videos. Some of these, like I said, are pretty interesting. Some of the other ones are more of the same of what we've already got. So nothing too crazy. I don't think the world's gonna freak out on this, but let's get into it. So this is the homepage of war.gov. This is where you can get to the files. You hit UFO, and then right here, fourth tranche of records. So they got some images here. This was pretty interesting. This is a classified German craft. This is what I was talking about. So I think there's some things that have been hidden from humanity of technologies that they were trying to develop. So who knows? There could be more man-made things out there than I originally thought. Especially if they do have crash retrievals, which are sadly missing from all of this information. Again, no crash retrievals, no biologics. When are we going to get into the meat and potatoes of this stuff? Yeah, the videos are getting slightly more interesting, but it's starting to feel kind of dragged out at this point. I know they're going for the slow drip, trying to acclimate people, but if you've seen Disclosure Day, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for those files to get dropped. Where are the crafts? Where are the crash retrievals? Where are the biologics? Let's get this going. All right, so there's another star UAP. This one looks more compelling than the last one. The last one, just with how it was moving, was kind of, I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it. I know all these things are classified as anomalous by the government, but some of these things, I feel like that they could be just releasing normal things. Like there's one video in here that if it's not birds, then I've totally seen it and reported this multiple times. And I just always assumed it was a flock of birds. But so we'll get into it. So this is from an infrared sensor in 2025. So in the first 15 seconds, the sensor pans to track the area. So now we're gonna watch this video. So this is the 6-pointed star one from 2025. And yeah, visually it looks interesting. It just looks like something that it's extremely bright. It's giving off those light rays in all different directions. And that's the whole video. All right, so this one's from 2025 as well. Also infrared sensor, first 14 seconds. The sensor pans to track an area of contrast, keeping it generally centered within center of frame. From 15 to 19 seconds, the sensor adjusts and the image is momentarily overlaid with black rectangular areas. 20 seconds to minute 34, sensor pans to track an area of contrast, keeping it generally centered within the center of frame. Portions of the area in contrast intermediately lose distinctiveness against the background through the segment. Okay, so okay, well, this is a 5-minute video. So this is the Jellyfish UAP. Yeah, so Jellyfish UAP, if you've seen my episode of John, also known as Orbs by Thought, he has had experiences with these type of UAP while he was out being a psionic asset with Skywatcher, and he's also experienced them without being with the group. Yeah, so flying by. Dang. Can't tell where it is when I zoom out. So this is looking down towards the land, I believe. Yeah, it's up above the clouds. So yeah, this is looking down. So this was up above the clouds. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this one's very quick. This is from 1996. I don't even know why they give us this long of a... because they slowed down stuff, but... So you're gonna see two black dark objects fly through very quickly when this rotates. Right there. When it rotates, you can see it. Yeah, so fast. Maybe it's just one object moving that quickly. But then it's just gone when it goes into the redaction box. You don't see it come out anywhere. Okay, so this is just them breaking it down, slowing it down. Who edited these videos? So there you go. So I don't know if it's two distinct objects like they're trying to make it here, because when you watch the video, it looks like it could be moving so fast that the camera frames are picking up the artifacts of where it was. Okay, 2019, Gulf of Mexico. I will not call it the Gulf of America. 8-second long video. Let's see more downloading. Interesting. So 2019, recorded an infrared sensor. Notice all the infrared. I think these things like to hang out in infrared spectrum, which is not visible to our normal eyes. So I think there's a lot going on in other light spectrums that our eyes aren't seeing. Okay, so yeah, that was Loveland 2019. I'm not going to download it again. All right, we got some images. So this is the NASA image of an object out in space. I believe this next image, yeah, you can see it a little bit better. And it's a triangular shaped craft. You know, that's pretty Pretty plain as day right there. So that's pretty interesting. All right, let's see the next one. This one, yeah, you can see it in front of the planet. That thing's gotta be pretty large. Very interesting. Okay, 2023, Middle East. Let's just see. So similar to what they released in the last drop. Just a couple objects flying by quickly. And then what are they? They're tracking an object there. So I'm assuming what they were tracking. Let's see. So all they describe is there's a dark area of contrast and then light areas of contrast come flying by. That's the best they can describe that. Okay. 2023 Middle East. Yeah, 2 areas of contrast transit the sensor field of view. The first enters the field of view from the bottom right and exits from the top edge. The second, relatively smaller area, enters from the top and exits the bottom of the frame. So we're gonna see 2 objects here. Alright, so let's go back. Alright. Yeah, so we're going frame by frame here. So frame, 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 frame. Stuck, stuck. Move. Then you're going to see it exit the top here. And this one comes in. So there's 2 separate objects. You can see the very... like the tail of it right here at the top. Yeah, and this other object's either, I mean, it is going extremely quick. I wonder if it's actually rod shaped or if it just looks elongated because of how quickly it's moving. But it's definitely, because this one's not elongated. I wonder what the color on this is. I wonder if that's like a heat signature of some sort. Yeah, so that one's pretty interesting. Okay, this is a longer one. So this was submitted to Aero. It's almost a 5-minute video. Electrical, optical, and infrared system in 2023. First 8 seconds, infrared mode, sensor tracks in the area of contrast. 9 seconds to a minute 03. Sensor zooms in and tracks area contrast, holding it center in frame. Next 6 seconds, it goes to electrical, optical, daytime television feed. Okay, and it features a dark object superimposed against a blue background. Then the sensor changes to infrared. The area of contrast is no longer visible. Okay. They zoom in, change contrast, they see it again. Okay, track it, tracking the area. Footage appears to skip or lose coherence at 3.5 minutes. Okay. Let's see. I don't remember what this is. Okay, so we got yeah, so we have an object of contrast. So I do think, is this an interesting shaped one? Yeah, I think this is. Okay. So you can see it down there. So out over the ocean. So here you can see they zoomed in. The shape on this one is interesting. It doesn't look like a normal just orb. There, the video looked... Why is there a weird box in the middle of this video? Okay, that's gone now. Yeah. Interesting shape. It looks like it has like 3 things coming off of it at the moment. So here's the electrical optical. So here's the water with the object, and then I change back. You can't see the object anymore because they're zoomed way out. So they zoom back in. Okay, you can see it again. So this is a dark black object pretty much flying across the ocean. All right, let's see. Anything interesting happened throughout here? Just kind of flying. Yes. I can really zoom in on it. Interesting shape. Yeah. Looks like it has like these arms or something coming off of it. Definitely doesn't look like a bird. A drone. Now we're in this weird box again. I'm gonna track it. Lock off. Box it. Okay. How did it change directions? Or did the camera just change? I think the camera just changed. See, that's the hard part with these videos. Like, I can tell the camera's moving. Yeah, the object seems to be flying in a straight flight path. Yeah, now zooming now. Yes. All right. So, interesting shape on that one. Yellow Sea 2023. Okay, so we got South China Sea 2024. Minute 45. Let's see. Okay, area of contrast, center of the frame, zooms in and tracks an elongated area of contrast, keeping it generally to the left of the center of the frame. Zoom in again, contrast appears as a line of several areas of contrast moving across the sensor field of view. Okay, track areas of contrast for 1 minute, they become less distinct over time. Okay. So yeah, this is the one I was like, is this birds? Because if this isn't birds, I have possibly seen this as well. There's been a few times where I've seen it looks like a formation of birds, but it doesn't quite look like birds. But yeah, they're saying this one. It's an area of contrast that is a line. I mean, it totally could look like a craft, like sideways, you know, like these lights are going around the perimeter of some sort. But also, it looks like it could just be some birds in a formation. So, yeah. I guess, I don't know. I would need to know why this one's not birds. Why did they rule that this wasn't? Also, China. Let's see. So we got an object out over the ocean. I don't know if the object's moving weird or if the camera's glitching. So this tracks area contrast. The sensor zooms out and in several times. What the heck? Alright, next one. Command 17. Area of contrast, center of the frame. Auto tracking reticle surrounds the area of contrast. Good. I like when they auto track. Alright. So this looks like we got some clouds. So I'm assuming this is... I don't know if this is ocean and these are clouds like over the horizon. But we got a little triangle shape here. Let's see. So this actually, I wonder if this is... to kind of saw it morph a little bit there. Is it flying back now? I think we're over clouds. I think these are... or it's waves. Could be waves. Could be out over the ocean. Yeah, I think those are waves, actually. Yeah. These videos just don't show you a whole lot. Alright, Eastern United States, 2020. 24 seconds. Okay, an area of contrast, which repeatedly leaves and re-enters. Then the sensor zooms in at 12 to 16 seconds. 17 to 23 seconds pans to track the area of contrast. Yeah, so. Fast moving object flying above the clouds. Also 2020. Western United States. I don't think... yeah, area contrast shows up at like 28 seconds, so I don't think there's anything until we get... all these ridiculous redactions out of the way. Alright, so here's the area contrast. They auto track it. So they're gonna adjust their zoom levels. And yeah, so they're just tracking this object. So, I don't know if it does anything interesting or not. Let's see here towards the end. It gets a little interesting. So it kind of looked like the object split here into two objects. And then I don't know if they zoomed in and then they lost it, or if they accelerated and they lost it. All right, 2015, Eastern United States. Very fast object. Go ahead and get a good look at this one. So let's see. We can't even see the object. Then it's going to come flying very fast through there. Which I like this video because you can see how fast it truly is moving. Unless we are getting parallax effect. Because this object that is recording it could also be moving to make it look like it's going even faster. But yeah, this is this that video they released on the pipe? That looks straight up like a flying saucer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 frames in between each frame here. Dang. Yeah, because I slowed it down. Yeah, that thing's... Straight up looks like a flying saucer to you. Am I going the wrong way? Go back. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Tell me that's not a flying saucer. Tell me that's not a flying saucer right there. Alright. I like that video. Eastern United States. Oh, it's this one that we already watched. No, it's a dark area of contrast. Oh, is this is the rubber duck video. So this one's already been leaked a while back. Yeah, so it looks like a rubber duck. So this one was actually released by Jeremy Corbell a few years ago. So now it's officially been released. So, yep. Just looks like a rubber duck right there. All right. Let's go to 111. 2020, Eastern United States. Auto track this object at 22 seconds. I'm trying to auto track it. All right, I got it. And then it's gone. I'll go ahead. All right. 112. Okay. Area of contrast. Let's see. Another interesting shaped one. Nice. Good look at this. It's only 20 seconds long. And then did I lose it? So it looks like multiple objects kind of blobbed into one object. Also, no, oh, we lose it. We lose it already. We don't get a good look. We don't get that long of a look. Kind of looks like it could be a triangle. Is what I was gonna say. Like it could be 1, 2, 3. And I wonder what that object is, so it flies by. 2016, Atlantic Ocean, area of contrast. So this is what entered the frame. Yeah. All right. And it's just gone. Just disappeared. Right there. Oh, this is the most interesting video. All right, we are gonna blow this up. What does this say? All right. So this was submitted to Aero, 32-second video, infrared sensor from military platform in 2020. And a company ranger Fowler debriefed described the phenomenon as darker maroonish color, approximately 12 to 15 feet in height. And the report describes the phenomenon traveling with the wind and noted that it did not maneuver or change direction. Also describes the phenomenon as appearing similar to a large, somewhat deformed balloon. So, okay. Now, I think this one's interesting just because, like, some lights seem to appear on it, and when it gets zoomed in, you get a really good look at it. It is very strange. It's a very strange shape. I don't know if a cluster of balloons would look like that. Like you said, deformed cluster of balloons is the best description they could give. Yeah. So right here, it just kind of looks like a blurry object. What I like about this video is we actually get a close, zoomed in look. So here you're starting to, it kind of looks like eyes appearing on a face almost is what it looks like. I don't know if that's light reflecting off of a certain part of it or whatever, but yeah, very interesting video right here. Like, what? I hate that they cut it off here. Like, what happened? Clearly, you guys were watching it. What happened next? Why does it look like a pig? It looks like a boar, like a wild boar's head. Like, here's the snout, the eye, the mouth, the tooth. Like, it looks like a side profile of a boar. We call it the Borehead UAP. All right, last page. Or that's the last video. That was all the videos that were released. Like I said, some of those were kind of interesting. A lot of those other ones were just more of the same of what's been released already. I do find it fascinating, these ones that have these interesting shapes that you can't just describe away as an everyday object. They don't look like a bird. They don't look like a normal aircraft. They don't look like balloons. They don't look like a drone. They don't even look like an orb like what I've seen and documented. They have these very crazy geometric kind of shapes. So that's what we got released today. Once again, nothing too crazy, and it really just feels like this very slow drip is just going to continue on. So I'm hoping that we can push to continue to get truth and transparency, and hopefully we can step it up and start getting into these other topics. Like, let's get into the crash retrievals. Let's get into the biologics. David Grush talked about sentient plasmoid beings. He talked about corporeal bipedal life. Clearly there's information on these things if he is going out on a press conference and saying that they know about it. So where's those files? Where is that information? Until we get some real information like that, this kind of just feels like a dog and pony show to try to make the UFO community happy. But we need some real disclosure. We need some real proof. It's time to release some real evidence. I thought with Disclosure Day coming out and how they released all that stuff in the movie, I thought we would start getting to some more interesting things. And I mean, some of these clips are more interesting than the previous ones, but we need that definitive hard proof so we can get the skeptics to finally come around and realize, okay, there is something. This is real. It was a good drop, but ultimately I am still disappointed. I was really hoping we are going to start getting into some of the more concrete, actual things that they have. Let's get into some of these crash retrievals. Let's start getting into some of these technologies that have been recovered. Let's start getting into some of these biologics that people have been describing since the 1940s. Like, come on, dude, it's 2026. Can we please just get some of the answers to what is really going on? We all deserve to be living in a reality where we understand who we are as a species, what our place is in this reality. Instead, we're just being gatekept by these people keeping secrets who are manipulating this planet to cause war and violence and corruption. Like, it's just really frustrating. And I know disclosure is not going to come from the government. That's why I have made my podcast. That's why I make the videos that I do, and I'm having the conversations I'm having, because really, this has to do with all of us. We are all a part of this, whether you believe in it or not. So the sooner we can all get on the same page of knowing that this is real and start getting into some of the real truths of what's going on. I would love to actually get some information from some of the scientists who actually studied any of these things. I get that they're just releasing the videos, but it doesn't help when it's just like, here's a video of an area of contrast. Oh, here's a dark area of contrast. Oh, here's a light area of contrast. Oh yeah, it flew from left to right. That doesn't help whatsoever. You guys have nothing figured out. You don't know anything about what these are. I don't buy that for a second. The fight for truth and transparency continues. I hope we get real information here soon. I haven't gone through the files, but running them all through my AI for a quick glance, there's nothing about the things that I talked about, which is getting to the point where it's just, it's all smoke. Where's the fire? I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below, what did you guys think of these videos? Like I said, a couple of them are really fascinating and interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with the video or information, but it's interesting to see what they have recorded. And, I hope this just pushes more people to become interested and question, what are these things and what does the government truly know? But on top of that, how can we get more involved as the public, as a community? How can we all start seeking these answers and this connection? Because it's all going to come from us. Stop trusting or stop waiting for the government to do anything, because this is a movement of the people, for the people, to change everything for everyone. The powers that be don't want that. They like it very much how it is. They like all the power they have over all of us. And it really just, each release, it's just showing that, we're not going to get the truth from them. So yeah, let me know down below, what did you think of these clips? Also, let me know down below, what are you hoping to see in these next file releases? Like, I'm really at the point where I am so beyond ready for them to release actual information instead of just some clips of an area of contrast that they've recorded. So I would love to know what their scientists have thought about it. I don't even know if they've had anyone even look at these videos. That's the other thing too. Like, these videos are probably recorded and like, that's strange, and then just put onto a classified server where no one ever looks at it. So it is good that they're being released so people can get eyes on them, but it's time to rip off the Band-Aid. Let's release the information, and I hope that other countries will start following and let's release what everyone knows so we can all come together and seek true answers. Because right now we're all still just looking through a lens of untruth, being fed information from a source who has lied to us for at least 80 years, if not longer. And they've admitted there's a cover-up. They've admitted that people have lied, people have been hurt, killed, everything because of this cover-up and these secrets. And it's time to expose it all. Let's get into it. Let's show what we know. Let's show what has been documented, recorded, and it's time for the rest of humanity to step into this knowing and this greater connection with our place in the cosmos. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, share, comment, and I will see you all in the next video.